right, next up, we've got, as we continue along here, Delaware and Jacksonville State. This is the first of 2 games on Wednesday night. We've got Delaware 2.5-point road favorites, 57.5 being the total here in this game. Oh, my bad. I don't have the weather. The weather's fine on Tuesday. None of these games are expected to be impacted by weather. We have a chance of actually, it looks like weather's good for a lot of these games midweek. Same thing here. No weather issues, obviously, in this one. Jacksonville State, man, were they lucky last week. I watched that game. Like, Sam Houston State's a bad football team, and it took everything in their power to escape with that victory. I feel bad for Sam Houston State. You know, they played a pretty good game. They kept, I wouldn't say they shut down Jacksonville State, but they finally got offense going. Unfortunately, down the field, they couldn't stop the run still. Jacksonville State with Cam Cook at 218 rushing yards. And how about the quarterback for Jacksonville State, Caden Creel? He had 129 through the air, but 132 on the ground. That guy used his legs quite a bit in that one. To get the job done against Sam Houston State. So, like I said, I don't think it's that impressive of a victory necessarily for Jacksonville State beating a horrible Sam Houston State team that is still looking for their first win. But they escaped with the last-second field goal from Grant Ripa at the end, 29-27. Now they go back home to face Delaware. Delaware comes into this game off a bye week. I like the spot off that tough, misleading loss against Western Kentucky because they lost the turnover battle. They were still able to move the football, but unfortunately the turnovers really hurt Delaware in that game. I still like what I'm seeing from the offense. Nick Minicucci's been solid going into this game. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here. Last time they were in conference play, Delaware on the road, they went to FIU and they put a whipping on FIU, 38-16. In that game. I think Delaware might be the side here. I like the spot. Off a bye week. Jacksonville State, that to me, that's not a great sign when you're barely beating a lowly Sam Houston State football team. Now, this is one of these games, too, where when you look at Jacksonville State, we said this all the time when Rich Rod coached this team. You've got to stop the run against them because they all run it like 90% of the time. They don't throw it much. And when you look at Delaware, they're slightly below average with their run defense. They're actually worse with their pass defense, Delaware. So, but the run defense is not great. It's not horrible. Like, it's not one of the worst run defenses going Delaware, but it's not great either. So I think Jacksonville State can probably move it. I think Delaware can move the football. You're giving up 27 points to Sam Houston State, and you're allowing Hunter Watson and that offense to get rolling when they hadn't done anything much this year. That tells me Jacksonville State's defense, to me, could be vulnerable here. So this is another one, totals-wise, I got to lean over. I think it points to both teams being able to move the football here. I think from a side perspective, though, as long as this number doesn't get carried away, stays below 3, it's Delaware for me. I like them off a bye. I think they might still be the better team. C-Mac, what do you think here, Delaware, Jacksonville State?
Yeah, I think this is the over. Even with all the running that's involved with Jacksonville State, I had the over at Sam Houston too in that game, so they got it done. But that's why they had in the end, I think, success. And with both these teams, there could be a ton of mistakes. I mean, they got to take care of the football at times. There were turnovers on both sides of the ball. We mentioned all about Delaware and some of those bad moves, bad mistakes down the stretch of that game. It was definitely a tough watch. And I think they're a little bit of the better team, but I think the line is about right. I just don't want to lay even 2.5, 3 with them on the road here because I think Jacksonville State stays in the game, even with that bad defense with running the football. So over here for me, I lean Jacksonville State a little bit.
And, of course, JMU is one of these teams, too, that I think as far as their pace numbers are concerned, they are, I think, slightly down from last year, but they're not a snail either. Jacksonville State.
They're still pretty good.
Middle of the pack,
right?
Yeah. I don't think they're playing as fast as they did under Rich Rod, but they're still playing above average as far as pace and tempo is concerned at this point in time. Delaware, kind of the same thing as well. They play with pretty solid in the middle of the pack as far as pace numbers are concerned.
Delaware's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right, with theirs.
They are.
Top 25.
31st.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're
31st.
even faster than Jacksonville State. So, yeah, I think over is the way to go here if I'm betting the total.